Greetings, one and all, from inside the car at the MKM Stadium, because it is now chucking it down and it is blowing a gale. So 3 points for Hull City, a 3-0 win over QPR, and it's probably as convincing as the scoreline suggests. They were good today. Right from the moment a shot rained in, after 20 seconds, Ryan Allsop saved it. QPR went long the first couple of seconds, and City from then grew in. They controlled the game. It was a really dominant performance, classy, slick, everything that we've kind of wanted to see from them, I guess. And it took them just 8 minutes to go in front with. If you've not seen it yet, find it out, because Ozan Tufan's goal was, I think for me, goal of the season. There are some contenders, and probably somebody will tell me there's been a better one this season. Probably Jaden Philogene would be one of those people. But he stepped in off the left-hand side, this side, and he bent it over Ajmir Begovic in the goal, rattled in off the crossbar into the back of the net. It was a wonderful strike, wonderful goal. And it was just what City needed, because as I say, for the first minute or so, QPR were on the attack. They had that shot that Ryan Allsop saved. You'd expect him to save it. But from then on, the pressure grew, their dominance grew, and the goal it came at a good time. And we've been asking the question for weeks, haven't we? When they get in front, go and get the second goal, kill teams off, particularly teams that they're better than, and they are better than QPR. They had one or two really good chances at 1-0 in between before they got the second goal. There was one moment, and I guess you could say, well, that's what, if they haven't got a striker, that's part of the problem. Philogene got in down the left-hand side, lovely ball across. Nobody there, nobody breaking the line to gamble and put the ball in the net. There were a couple of other moments from the other side. Carvalho and Abdush. Abdush again was terrific today before he came off. There's so much to enjoy about the way Abdush plays the game. Defensively, he's really good. He takes the ball down out of the sky. His touch is first class. I mean this sincerely. I can't remember a time when he gives the ball away. He takes care of the ball so much, and he's just, whatever happens in the next couple of weeks between now and the end of the season, whether City get in the playoffs, whether they don't, Abdush is going to be a player, an absolute key player next season, whatever league they find themselves in. Anyway, so 1-0 up, in complete control, playing some really good football. QPR couldn't get near them. The second goal, again, comes from some lovely possession, lovely interplay between Abdush and Tufan. Those two are striking up a really good partnership and understanding. Abdush to Tufan. Tufan, one touch, plays it straight through. Carvalho runs in behind. Begovic comes out. Carvalho, presence of mind, just to lift it over him and into the back of the net. That was 2 minutes just before the half hour. And I'm not saying you felt game over at that point, but they were so in control, so dominant at that point that, and they got themselves some breathing space. QPR had a bit of a flurry just before half time, and you sat there thinking, do not give them anything stupid, do nothing daft, don't give them a goal before half time out of nothing to give them something to cling on to. They didn't. Got into half time at 2-0. QPR had a really, really good chance. They made a couple of changes at half time. Smith came off the bench and could have scored, actually, prodded wide at the near post, the back post, and you thought, bit of a warning sign, but they, again, went up the other end, really good passage of play, got a free kick, the free kick, Tufan put it in, it got headed out, and then Jaden just battered it, volley straight in the back of the net, 3-0, and that was game over. QPR had moments, in fairness, they had moments in the second half. There was a chance, Smith went through again, he took it past Allsop, and Matty Jacob back on the line cleared it. It's not as dramatic as what you think, in the sense that the Smith it wasn't a great effort. Jacob should have blocked it, and he did his job, and that was that. One of the highlights of the afternoon, actually, there was a big, obviously we all know about Liam Rosenior, massive roar when his name was read out before kickoff. An even bigger roar when he went to warm up in the second half in front of the North Stand, who obviously were buoyant, 3-0 up, and everything was going well. The atmosphere in the ground was really good today, I've got to say. Right from kickoff, it was really, really good. And yeah, when Delap came on, massive ovation for Liam Delap. That must have been, for him, that must have been special. Tufan came off, to a rapturous standing ovation. And Delap, it was like he's never been away. There was a couple of lung bursting runs. He's a nightmare to play against for centre half. Poor old Steve Cook, at the age of 36 or whatever he is, he terrorised him. He could have had a goal himself. He got in down the right side, lifted it over Begovic. It was going in, and Clark Salter got back and headed it off the line. There was another moment he got in down the right hand side, lovely little clip to the back post, past the goalkeeper, and Traore, who came off the bench, a yard out, probably has an open goal. Not a foregone conclusion, of course, but you'd expect him to hit the target, and if he does that, he scores. And it was just headed away just before. So, he had a 20-minute cameo, did Liam Delap, and he could have had a goal and an assist in that moment. And you always expect players to come back and look a bit, look, maybe their touch is a bit off, and maybe they look a bit ropey because they've been away for so long, and being out for so long and then coming back into elite level football is not easy. But to be honest with you, credit to Man City for the job they've done, and credit to the lad himself, because he came back and he looked like he'd never been away. He was phenomenal in that 20 minutes, and he could have had a goal or two. And going forward into Watford, they've obviously got a clear week now into Watford next Saturday. Potentially, I guess he could start. I'm guessing he won't, but he's had 20 minutes today. There could be a temptation from the manager to stick him in from the start, although that would be a tad harsh on the front players of Carvalho, Philogene, Tufan and Abdush. And look, it's funny, isn't it? Because if you look at the stats, QPR actually had more shots on goal than City, but a lot of those came at 3-0. City were trying to close the game down, and QPR were pushing. And to be fair, they had a go. You can't criticise Rangers. They're obviously fighting for their lives. They saw before kick-off that Blackburn won at Leeds, big result, and that Plymouth beat Leicester last night. So in terms of the teams at the bottom, they're not out of it by any stretch of QPR. So they needed to try and get back in the game. But this was. I don't want to harp on about what should have happened before, because we can have the post-mortem at the end of the season, given however it plays out. But that performance there is what we needed to see against Swansea. It's what we needed to see against Stoke City. The Birmingham one, look, for 85, 86 minutes against Birmingham, they battered them. And the difference today was they got the second goal. After going in front, they got the second goal this afternoon against Birmingham. If they'd have got the second goal against Birmingham, I think they go on and win 4 or 5. They were that much on top against Birmingham. But for me, it's the Swansea game where they lost here, and the Stoke game where they lost here, where that was the performance this afternoon we needed. And then we're having a very different conversation about the playoffs. But that's gone. You can only deal with what you've got, and they needed to win today. So that's 2 wins in 3. If you think since the 3-week break for World Cup and what have you, they've come back awful against Stoke, garbage, deserved to get beat and did. I thought they were terrific at Leeds, really, really good at Leeds. Getting a point until they obviously give away the last-minute penalty, or the 88th minute penalty. Really good at Cardiff, won 3-1. Thought they played well against Borough, draw that game 2-2, and they win today. So their form since Stoke has been okay. I mean, as I said, the Leeds game, that can happen. Leeds up until today were unbeaten at home. That is something that can happen. But 2 wins in 3. They've now got a clear week to Watford. It looked for pretty much the entirety of the afternoon that they were going to close the gap on Norwich, because Norwich at Preston were goalless for much of the game until they scored a late winner, which fair play. So they win. The gap remains at 6 points. City have gone from 10th to 7th because Borough drew at Ipswich. Coventry got thumped 3-0 at Birmingham. And obviously, as we've just touched on, Preston lost at home to Norwich. So City have gone up to 7th. It looks like they're the team to challenge Norwich if they were going to be one. And all they can do is keep winning. I mean, we said this. I said this to Liam and Jacob Greaves when I spoke to him yesterday at the training ground. Was the worst thing for City would be to not take care of their own business and then see Norwich slip up and go, well, if we'd have only beaten QPR, and if we'd have only gone to Watford and done something, we'd have been in that position. So they can have no regrets, and all they can do is win their games. It's that straightforward. They go to Watford, a point's no good. You go to Watford, you've got to win. Not an easy game, obviously. Watford, I know they lost at Southampton in the 98th minute or whatever it was today, but they've been in good form since Tom Cleverley came in, so that won't be straightforward down at Vicarage Road. But away from home, City have already got 10 wins. You'd back them to go there, and then it's Coventry away, in the game in hand, and then that one against Ipswich, the final game of the season here, before Plymouth away brings the curtain down. So all they can do, look, I still maintain, and I will die on this hill and probably get continually hammered for this, but I think they've had a great season. I think after 42 games of the season, Hull City is 7th in the table. I think they've had a brilliant campaign. Yes, the home form has let them down. It has. But they're still 7th in the table and they've still got a shot of it. And all they can do is keep, they've won today, convincing performance, dominant performance, a performance of real quality, scored some really good goals. And they've got to make Norwich work for it. And if they win at Watford next week, that guarantees to take it to Coventry. And if they win at Coventry, it will take it to Ipswich. And the best we can hope for, apart from Norwich dropping points over the next couple of weeks, is to take it to the final day. And we know if City win their next 3 games, whatever happens, they will go to Plymouth on the final weekend with a chance. However slim that chance might be with goal difference and what have you, funny things can happen on the final day. So, that's what we're aiming for. And we know for a fact that if they can win at Watford, it rolls over, and that's what they've got to keep doing. And they've got to hope that by hook or by crook, Norwich drop some points. And if they don't, you hold your hand up and go and say, Norwich, over 46 games, you've been the better team. You deserve to finish in 6th place. And you have to hold your hand up. And if that is the case, you sit back and you go, we've had a good season. We've missed out by 3 points, 4 points, whatever it is, but we've had a really, really good season. But with 4 games to go, they're still in with a chance. And I think, if we're all honest, before the opening game down at Norwich, if you'd have said, with 4 games to go, you're 6 points off the top 6, but have a game in hand, I think most of us probably would have gone, yeah, we'll take our chance. We'll give it a go, and what will be will be. But I think that performance this afternoon was, is what we've been looking for, and it's exactly what Liam has wanted to see from his side. And in fairness, we've seen that level of performance before. They just haven't been clinical enough. I would counter and say, they were brilliant against Leicester, but they switched off in 2 moments, and Jamie Vardy punished them for 2 moments. They were good against Middlesbrough, and they win the game, but for Tyler Morton error on the edge of the penalty area, Ryan Giles having a mental block, and then they counter and score the goal. That's points there. Birmingham, as I've touched on already. So I think there have been home games this season where they have played really, really well, and they deserve to win matches. But because of their own inability to keep the ball out of the net at one end and not put the ball in the net more often at the other end, they haven't picked up the points. But as I say, without wishing to labour the point, they're still in a position where they can still have a positive end to the season. And all they can do is go to Watford next week and win. A couple of housekeeping points. Zaroury wasn't involved today. His groin problem persists. There's a hope he could be involved at Watford next week. Louis Coyle wasn't in the team today with that back injury that he picked up at Leeds. Missed the Cardiff game, although he travelled. Obviously, he came off, as we saw, at half-time here on Wednesday night. It's expected that Louis will be back in the squad for Watford. Though Matty Jacob came in today, he was the one change, and I thought Matty Jacob was brilliant. There was a brilliant moment in the first half where he went in for a tackle on the floor and he headed the ball away against somebody's feet, which summed up his character. I thought he was really good. Obviously, cleared the one off the line second half. So Matty Jacob came in and did really well. I thought Regan was good at right back again today. And Fabio obviously with the goal. Abdush was good. Jaden, but I thought he really enjoyed it. I thought Jaden was good on Wednesday, in fairness. I thought Jaden was really good. Deserved the goal today. Really good finish. Made it look easy. Not an easy finish. I gave my man of the match to Tufan because he scored the goal, which was worthy of winning any game at any level. But there was another moment in the game where he, in the second half, where Morton lost the ball in the City half, and Tufan chased it back and managed to get it out for a throw-in. And, it could have been a counter-attack like we saw against Borough in midweek, but Tufan stopped it. So I just love him as a player. Yeah, sometimes he's frustrating. His talent has never been in doubt. His fitness and his application at times perhaps have. But I think generally this season he's been he's been much better, and particularly probably since Christmas, I think he's gone on to a different level. And it's his fitness, his willingness to run, to press, to close down, and that ability, that goal he scored was just sensational. And if you were this side of the stadium, if you were in the West Stand, you'd have had an absolute that view of being behind it when he bent it in the top corner, past a very good goalkeeper in Begovic, by the way. That's not an easy thing to do. And his assist for Carvalho's goal, I'm sure I saw a stat after the game at Cardiff last week where that was Tufan's first assist for Hull City when he sent Carvalho through for the second goal, which blows my mind a bit, if I'm honest. But yeah, he's a real player, and he's in great form, and it's great to see. So as much as you want Dilat back in the team, and I think they'll be careful. They've got to be careful with him, obviously. I think that front four will stay as it is next week, and we're off to Watford. We go, Kev. Yeah, I think the disappointment. Look, I think you're right. You're right. Top half finish at the start of the season. We go. That's progress. You're right, and the frustration is genuinely. The frustration comes from there's been so many games where they've been brilliant, and they've just let themselves down in key moments in the season. In games where you're going to get games like Ipswich away where they were completely outplayed and they were deservedly beaten. You hold your hand up. Over 46 games, you're going to have games where you don't play well and you get beat. You deserve to be. That is football. But there haven't been many games where I've walked up. I've been to every game, and there haven't been many where I've come away going, they were terrible. They deserve to get beat. Ipswich, Stoke, but there haven't been. Swansea was another one, but there haven't been many. And I think that the frustration is there's been so many games where they've been in control and they've had chances, or they've had moments where they've not pulled the trigger, and Middlesbrough, Morton's not pulled the trigger and they've gone up the other end and scored. That, as Liam said to me on Wednesday night, that kind of encapsulates the season. So good, so close to being in the playoffs and being one of the top teams at this level. But they just haven't been able to do it often enough here. And that is, when in the cold light of day, when we look back on it all, and if they do miss out, we will look back and we'll go, well, that point there, or those 2 points there. But it's frustration because on their day they are superb, and on their day they are an absolute pleasure to watch. They really are. They are, yeah. And Mark, you're right. They haven't. Look, Liam gets a lot of criticism, and I can understand some of it. I genuinely can understand some of the criticism the manager gets. I think sometimes his teams have overpassed it. I think sometimes they have got around the penalty area and tried to be too clever and too cute and not take the shot on. But today shows when you've got a player of Tufan's calibre and capability, bang it. When you get in around the penalty area, have a shot. We saw with Philogene, maybe a couple of weeks ago, Jaden there takes a touch. Why? Bang it. You've got such ability. You'll score a goal or hit the very worst. You're going to hit the target. And we've seen today what happens when when the players have shots. It's on them. It is on the players to make the right decision. I don't buy into this theory that Liam Rosenior is telling his players, lads, when you get to the edge of the box, don't shoot. You've got to play 5 passes before anybody can have a shot. I don't buy that. So I think that comes from decision making on the individual players and having the confidence when they're in around the penalty area to have a go. And they've got such quality. Carvalho, Philogene, Ozan, Abdush. They're all fine technicians. They can all sit the ball in the top corner. So have a go, and that has been the frustration. But I still think, as I said before, I'll die on this hill. I still think they've had a really good season, and the frustration does come from the fact that they've been so good, and it could have been better if they'd have made better decisions in key moments. But they are young, they are learning, and whatever happens this season, if they are to miss out, then there's a lot to go at for next season. And Liam's doing a fine job. The club's in it. The progress the club is making. Another 20, just under 22,000 here today. The crowds are up. The place is buoyant, and we shouldn't forget that. And I think all those people that are particularly on social media that are constantly waiting for a defeat, or like some of the stuff that was aimed at Ryan Alsop in the week was just ridiculous. Yeah, he should have saved Lat's goal against Borough. Yeah, he made a couple of errors at Swansea. Yes, there's been moments in the season, 3 or 4 moments where Ryan Alsop should have done better with goals. But he's not the only one out there. You know, that the Lati Lath goal in the first few minutes against Middlesbrough, there's 10 other players that could have dealt with that. There's 10 other players out there that could have stopped that ball at source before it even gets to the goalkeeper. Yes, he's made mistakes, but some of the pile-on that I've seen from some so-called supporters is just ridiculous. And look, Ivor Pandor is a really talented young goalkeeper, and he's been signed for the future. But with so much on the line at the minute, still to play for, you aren't throwing. No manager at this level is throwing a 21-year-old goalkeeper in, having never played a championship game before at this stage of the season. It just isn't going to happen. And also, yes, he's made mistakes, but he's made other saves that have kept them in the game. You think of the game away at Middlesbrough. If he doesn't make that save at Middlesbrough in the closing stages, they don't win that game. So, let's just rein it in a bit and actually look back and go, this has been a really good season. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, they've dropped points at home that they probably shouldn't have done. But there are other teams in this league. It's not all just about Hull City. There are other teams. Norwich have got a good squad. West Brom have got a good squad. Middlesbrough beaten in the semi-final last season, good squad. Coventry beaten semi-finalists. FA Cup semi-finalists. Beaten finalists in the playoff last season. FA Cup semi-finalists. They've got good players. And City have gone from being a team that battled relegation this time last season to being a team that are now chasing the top 6. Yes, they've signed some good players. And I saw a question about Liam Delap. Will he sign? Is there a chance? Yes, I would think there's a chance you get him back next season, but that we'll have to wait and see. A lot will depend on what his form is in the next couple of weeks and what Man City want to do with him, what Liam Delap wants, where City are themselves financially, what can they do. But they've had a good season. I don't think we should lose sight of that, irrespective of what happens in the next 4 games. The crushing thing would be if they dropped to 10th or whatever, and they weren't. For me. And I know the league table never lies after 46 games, but for me, from what I've seen of them this year, they don't deserve to finish, out of the top. If they finish 7th, you go, we've just missed out, but we've had a great year, And I think we should remember how far they've come as a group and not lose sight of that. And yes, Liam's made mistakes, but I remember having a conversation with Ajun when he appointed him, and we talked about the appointment, and I remember saying to him, if you appoint a rookie manager in his first full-time job, you've got to accept he's going to make mistakes. And Liam Rosenior has made mistakes this season. But he will learn from them. And as a collective, they will learn from them. But with 4 games to go, it's not over. And anything can happen. Anything can happen. You've got a chance. They're still in with a chance. And all the time, it's mathematically possible. You have to keep believing. You have to keep believing that you're going to go to Watford next week and win, and that Norwich will drop points. And then you go to Coventry, believing that you're going to win, and you close the gap. And you believe, that's all you can do. You can only believe. And I'm, at the risk of somebody calling me a happy clapper, do I think they're going to make it? I think that probably not. I think Norwich will find enough to clinch 6th spot. But what I do think is that they'll take it if they can take it to the final couple of games, either Ipswich here or. If we can go to Plymouth with a chance, then you just never know. Strange things happen in the last couple of weeks of the season. It's Norwich's to lose, and the pressure is on Norwich. Great win at Preston for them today. Credit to them for going there and winning. Fantastic result for Norwich. City can only do what they can do, and that's all you can ask for. And if they are to miss out, they've had a great season. I don't think we should lose sight of that, and I think we should go into the summer excited about the season we've just had. And excited about what could happen with a squad that have spent a year together. Liam's another year older, another year wiser in management. And a lot of the young players they've got have had another season at it as well. But like I said, that's not me writing it off because there's all to play for yet. That's it from here at the MKM Stadium. Podcast will be out on Monday. If you want to get in touch, tweet us at the 1904 Club on Twitter. There is another live event coming on the 7th. Sorry, I can't speak. On May the 7th at the New Walton Club. Same venue as last time. Tickets, £3. Money goes to charity. Guests to be confirmed, but there'll be some decent guests there. So, get your tickets. Come and join us. hopefully it will be after the season's finished and we'll be talking about a playoff semi-final. If it isn't to be, we can all reflect, have a drink and reflect on what has been a really good season. So go to Eventbrite, search the 1904 Club, you'll find the tickets there. Alternatively, go on if you look at the podcast show notes, the link to get your tickets is in there. The podcast will be out probably Monday afternoon. I think we're going to record it Monday morning with myself, Fletch, Burnsy, and the legend that is David Prutton. And yeah, so thank you for watching, everybody. We will be back at Watford next week. And as I say, keep getting in touch, the 1904 Club on Twitter. We welcome your thoughts and your comments. Have a good weekend, people, and we'll see you soon.